Data. We all love data. We're evaluators, we're data nerds, we're geeks. We even like raw data. But sometimes the people we work with aren't always sure what data might look like. So we have to really help them out to help them understand data, to make it look different ways. And a lot of things we do are charts and graphs, and they're beautiful, they're colorful, they show trends over time, but we really love maps. So today I'm going to talk about maps. You can do great things with maps. You can find buried treasure with maps. You can find your way around the New York City subway with a map. You can even make a point with a map. So if you want to show how many continents fit into the land space of Africa, you can do that with a map. You can also find out where obesity is most prevalent. Apparently Alaska and Northern Africa. Who knew, right? There it is. Note the lovely legend. So one of the things I'm going to do is we're going to walk you through, with our friend Kevin, a very bad day that could have been better if he had had maps. So Kevin lives in Fells Point in Baltimore. We're all about Baltimore. Fells Point's an awesome neighborhood downtown. They have pirate ships. I kid you not. But Kevin goes out to his car one day and he finds it's not there. Kevin's also been watching many, many episodes of The Wire, so he assumed it's been stolen. So he's going to do what most people do and try to get some anecdotal information from his neighbors who have somebody else steal their car. They're sure that's what it is. Then he goes to the Baltimore City Police Department mapping site to get some objective data. But that is crap, as you can tell. They only show data over 14 days. And it's point data, you can't see trends, you can't really do very much with it, and it's just unattractive. He could have gone to the Baltimore Data Mine, which would have shown him in his neighborhood, Fells Point, where the colors that's shaded lighter, you can see that there's less property crime. This calls into question his hypothesis about it being stolen, but he's missing one more key piece of evidence, right? And he's going to find that right here. Stolen, it was towed. So he gets in, he's going to get Uber to get to the tow lot, right? This map shows that Uber covers all of Baltimore. Would have been really cool if it showed how long it took for an Uber to get to where you are in Baltimore, but whatever. Pays $40. If he'd used this map, which is of the Charm City Circulator, he would have found that he could have gotten to the tow lot for free. Notice the color coding and the gray areas that show where the Charm City Circulator does not go. Very useful. Every map should be useful. So he gets on the Charm City Circulator, or doesn't get on the Charm City Circulator, pays $40, get to the tow lot, pays $500 for his car, which is even worse because it's rent day and he owes $1,200 for his rent. But rent, you got to pay the rent, right? But no, actually, his rent could have been different if he'd used what? A map. If he looked at this map, he would have seen that Fells Point has some of the highest rent in Baltimore City, whereas the surrounding neighborhoods have lower rent. Still, he doesn't live in D.C., where it would have been for rent anyway, so he's at least better off that way. So he's had a pretty bad day. He finally got his car back. Now he needs a drink. He's going to look at this map of where liquor license establishments are to go get a drink. So he's got a drink. He's sitting around. He's feeling pretty bad about his city. But you know what? Maps can make him feel better about where he lives. Because if he looked at this map, he'd see how many parks we have, and lakes, and waterways, and other green space. Or if he looked at this map, he would see that there's a lot of good places where you can go and go swimming in a public pool. But he could also learn a lot about his city and learn some other things by looking at this map of walkability. He would see that his neighborhood has a walk score of 87, which is the highest of the surrounding neighborhoods. Maybe if he'd seen this map, he would have thought twice about even buying a car. He could have thought about using public transportation or walking or getting there other ways. You can also map multiple things like car accidents and the percentage of young people. Or you can use a map to look at, for example, the darker neighborhoods where higher median income is. Also happens to be where most people send their kids to what? Private school. Not surprising. Or this evidence-based map of zombie attacks and life expectancy, where you can clearly see that the darker neighborhoods with lower life expectancy have more zombie attacks. Okay, we made that one up. So the point being, there are things you shouldn't map even if you can. So here's the thing you shouldn't have mapped, right? The black population, 5%, looking at census tract. What? And look at the legend. Legends are important. How many decimal points do you really need to make a point? We don't know. So this is a map that shows you something, but we're not sure what. This one too. Capital population. Giant dots, capital cities. We don't know what dot goes with what city. And again, look at the legend. 1.8 what? I can't even tell you. So these are like how not to map. But we love maps, and we have maps we love a lot, like this one. No numbers, but it tells you how to know if you're in the middle of nowhere or somewhere. If it's red, very low highway density. You're in the middle of nowhere. If it's blue, you got some highways. You're in the middle somewhere. And then our favorite map of all time, this one from Chicago, maps out gang territory. It's beautiful. It's color-coded. It lets you know if you're a vice lord how not to wander into the gangster disciples' territory. They could save your life. So in sum, we love maps because they're beautiful, they're useful, you can make decisions with them. You should use them whenever you can.